How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Verb stock. We ended up killing this play inside of the private group. I think we went into this play like twice, collecting some profits. But before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support and we also want to know resistance. Where are some levels where, you know what, Verb can look healthy here, especially on a pullback, and still have the strength to actually have a run up. And also in this portion of the video, I also do take a look at the volume. It's very key when it comes to plays like these. And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. We want to know, is there short squeeze potential? Can this continue to be a multi-day runner? We're going to be finding out. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions getting involved? Are they loading up on shares? Well, hey, I'm going to be talking about it in the video. And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thoughts. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis on Verb technology. Let's see how it's performed so far on the day at the time of this recording. So we can see it's around $3.24, being up 30% on the day. On the low, it tested $2.78, and then on the high, testing $3.97. When we take a look at the volume stats, you can see the volume so far is at 259.272 million. And as far as for the average volume over the past 10 trading days, it's at 47.893 million. So definitely a big difference in regards to above average volume. When we take a look at the RSI down below, of course, it's red hot, being right around 84.51, and that's no surprise. It's been on a run up. And if we take a look at our indicators on the chart here, of course, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So we were able to actually be inside of this play inside the private group, and of course, we were made some really good profits. But another thing I want to give you guys an update on, due to the fact we had all of this volume today, this does have the potential to be a multi-day runner. So if it does decide to pull back, an area that I want to see hold up would be right here around this $2.40 level, and possibly, which would be the better case scenario, I'd want to see it hold up around this $3 level. This is a psychological level here. But if it does decide to pull back, then I'll be looking out even for 280. So we continue to keep these particular areas in mind when we get into these plays, but we also want to make sure there's confirmation and the right setup. So if it gets to these particular areas, then of course we'll be taking a look at it again. But I just want you guys to be aware, I'm going to recap it again. We want to see some strength above 240, as well as 280 and this psychological level at $3. These are areas to pay attention to, especially going into tomorrow and as well as next week. But one thing we do know for sure, we did hit a resistance level here right around this $4 level because we're only able to get to $3.97. If we're able to actually get past this particular level, then I'm looking forward to seeing a strong move going into 4. So around Fintel, we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Verb. So you can see here the short volume ratio being at 33.02%. So there's definitely a lot of short squeeze potential in this play. As we scroll down on the page, short shares availability updated 5 minutes ago is at 0. And as far as for the short borrow fee rate, that is not available, updated 5 minutes ago. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, Verb is used to being fairly high, being above 21%. So even seeing it, as we can see from the date here of July the 14th, being at 30.46, but the high in this particular period was actually at 36.39. So taking this into consideration, this is why there is no surprise why Verb stock was able to run up today. Because when you have a lot of volume coming into the stock and there's a lot of buying, of course you could force a short squeeze. Shorts are going to be covering their positions. So we ended up seeing these drastic moves in overall price action. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Verb stock. So you can see here on the inflow, it had 204, and on the outflow, it had 193. So on the large, we had 43, and then on the medium, we had 117, and then on the small, we had 44, and this is in the millions. So when we take a look at the outflow side now, large was 41, medium, we had 109, and then small, we had 42. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, July the 15th, it was at 1,464.34. And then the past trading days, which were 3, they were all outflow days, and then we had an inflow day that was also on July the 9th being at 649.62. So taking everything into consideration here, yes, it does have the potential to be a multi-day runner, but again, this is dependent on volume. This is very, very key here. There needs to be that buying, there needs to be that demand. So now that you guys got updated on that, let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for Verb Technologies, I'm definitely going to continue to keep it on my watch list tomorrow. Not only did we crush it inside of the private group with this stock, but also on top of that, there was a lot of volume. There was a lot of demand going through this play. So I want to see there's going to be a continuation of that, especially going into tomorrow, and potentially this could also continue going into next week. So this is one thing why I'm bringing it across, making sure that you have it on your radar. When I do these videos, I want to give you guys a quick heads up. You can't be watching this hours later and going off with the same strategy. I've been seeing this in previous videos, people telling me, oh, bro, these were the areas of support. This is where you're supposed to buy. No, it wasn't, because it depends on the trend. You do not go into any position unless you get confirmation, and you get confirmation from your indicators, and the indicators that we use are for the intraday. This will give us the best possible setup. You just don't want to be jumping into a stock if you do not have a game plan and you do not have a strategy. I want to make sure I really emphasize that. But also, as far as the momentum for Verb today, I do believe it could have easily got to the $4 range if we didn't have such a pullback inside of the market. That's just my honest opinion there. You guys could feel free to disagree with me, but the amount of momentum that we saw, considering the fact that today was a big time red day, does show and bode well for this stock overall. So for anyone who wants to be getting into this play, I have to say it again, do not overstay your welcome. Many people are going to tell you, hey, buy the dip, but the last thing you want to do is keep on buying the dip, and then all of a sudden the volume and the demand comes out of the stock, and then you are left holding the bag. That is something that I feel is not fair, and it's not a good feeling, because again, you're putting your money in the stock market to actually see profits, right? You're not going in there for losses. So this is why I wanted to do this video and just let you know this is a very high risk play, and if you're not prepared for the drastic movements that occur, and you shouldn't be inside this play in the first place. And then also to kind of continue on what I was going over in Fintel, yes, it does have short squeeze potential written all over it, and we saw this by taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio. So if you are going to be getting in this, hey, I just want to make sure you continue to do your homework, you do your due diligence, so you have the right game plan going in. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.